All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. It is that time of the week, folks. My weekly picks in the world of the National Football League. We're up to week number 5 here, and this is the first bye week of this NFL season as the Detroit Lions, Tennessee Titans, Philadelphia Eagles, and Los Angeles Chargers are all sitting this one out. Got things started last night in a big way on Thursday Night Football. I picked the Atlanta Falcons a whole serve at home in a tight one over the Bucks. It was a tight one. It was a thriller that went to overtime, and we saw Falcons quarterback. Pardon me, I said Vikings. I said Atlanta Falcons and Bucks. Please forgive me, but we saw Falcons quarterback. I'm thinking about him from his days with the Vikings. Kirk Cousins go out there and take care of his business in a big way to the tune that he passed for more than 500 yards last night in that overtime win. But nonetheless, we've got some good games on tap for Sunday as well as a Monday night affair. Only one game on Monday night this week. Okay, you got the doubleheader the last couple of weeks. But nonetheless, here are my picks for week 5 in this NFL season. Now, it gets kick started this Sunday morning at 9:30 on the East Coast when the Vikings and Jets will be over in London. The Jets lost a shocker at home last week, courtesy of the Denver Broncos at the rain-soaked Meadowlands, and you've got the Minnesota Vikings. This team's flying high. You know, the more you doubt them, the more they continue to go out there and win. You think about it, Aaron Rodgers is very familiar with this team from his long tenure as the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, but nonetheless, I want to see how Aaron's going to go up against this Brian Flores led defense for Minnesota. The Jets, they've got to go out there in attack mode. And I think, especially defensively, they got to go out there and take care of their business. And they're facing a guy basically who Robert Saleh gave up on. You know, Robert Saleh came in as the Jets head coach. He didn't want Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was traded to Carolina. And of course, from there, the Jets went on to draft Zach Wilson. And well, we've seen how that has worked out. I guarantee you, Sam Darnold has not forgotten that. Okay. I think this is going to be a back and forth affair, a defensive struggle. And I want to see which team can force the pressure on the opposing quarterback. Can the Jets defense force pressure on Sam Darnold and force him into doing something that he has been doing so far this season, which is turn over the football? I know the Vikings are favored. I know that the Vikings are undefeated this season. But at the end of the day, I think after last week's loss, I think the Jets are going to answer the bell in this one. We're going to take New York by the score of 20-19. Now at Soldier Field, you're going to have the 2-2 Chicago Bears hosting the 1-3 Carolina Panthers. Chicago comes into this contest favored by 4 points, and they've got a lot of draft capital courtesy of the Carolina Panthers, most notably wide receiver DJ Moore and rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. It hasn't been pretty so far on offense for the Chicago Bears. They've been doing it with their defense, and they're starting to run the football. And I think this offense is going to be a work in progress. Nonetheless, for Dave Canales, we know that Carolina is going to give you everything that they have on a week-to-week basis. They just don't have the talent of the Chicago Bears. And I'm going to take the Bears in this one by the score of 24-17. Big one in the AFC North. I know that this is just the first Sunday of the month of October, but nonetheless, it's going to be a big one. You've got the 2-2 Baltimore Ravens traveling to take on the 1-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Two teams that have started off surprisingly slow this season. The Ravens began 0-2. They've gotten it going, while the Bengals finally got their first win of the season last week. The Bengals, you think about it, they finally got it going. They clicked on all cylinders. They found a running game to offset their passing game, and that's going to be big. I expect Cincinnati to try to go out there and run the football early and do some play action over the top to the likes of Jamar Chase. On the flip side for Baltimore, after they dropped their first two, they just sat back and said, hey, you know what? We didn't sign Derrick Henry for no reason, and they've been going out there and giving him the football. I expect the Bengals defensively to come out early, trying to stack that box against Derrick Henry. But guess what? The Ravens are not going to shy away from running the football. It's going to be like a heavyweight boxing match, and it's all about those body blows. And at some point, King Henry will get going. I look at this contest. Baltimore's favored by 2.5, but nonetheless, I think the Bengals finally figured it out. They got some stress off of their shoulders by getting their first win of the season last week, and I think they build off of that with a 24-22 win this Sunday. Now in Foxborough, you've got the 1-3 New England Patriots hosting the 1-3 Miami Dolphins, and of course for Miami, this season is getting away from you so quickly. They have the talent at the skill positions, but unfortunately, right now for Miami, they don't have the quarterback, and it's really showing in a big way. You're seeing a lot of frustration from this team. Do not expect the New England Patriots to go out there and feel sorry for them. The Patriots are going to try to get after you defensively under head coach Gerard Mayo. Yes, they are 1-3. Yes, this is a rebuilding team, but they're going to give you a spirited effort each and every week. And for the most part, they're going to be in the mix in their contest. Gerard Mayo is looking for his first home win as Patriots head coach. I think he gets it this Sunday, and I'm going to take New England by the score of 20-13. Now you got the 3-1 Washington Commanders hosting the 1-3 Cleveland Browns. And for right now, the talk of the town in the DC area has been rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. He's playing well above his years. He's got a lot of confidence and his playmaking ability is, sprinkling around this team. And you look at the connection that Daniels has already with wide receiver Terry McLaurin. That's going to be big. Will this Commanders offense be able to navigate this Browns defense? That's going to be the biggest question. You look at the Browns and you look at Deshaun Watson. They had their moments last week, some big time penalties, some big time mistakes hurt them against the forgive me for saying Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders. And at the end of the day, it cost them. I think that the Browns are trending downwards while the Commanders are trending upwards. They're in first place in the NFC East, and I think they keep that trend going. Thus, I'm going to take Washington at home by the score of 31-20. Now, in Jacksonville, the winless Jags at 0-4, they're looking to finally get off of the canvas as they host the 2-2 Indianapolis Colts. Rain is expected on the forecast for Sunday. But you look at this Jags team, they played hard in recent weeks, but they simply have not been able to get over the hump. I think the key for Jacksonville is to go out there and do something that they haven't done since week one. They've got to start fast, and they've got to do it at home to get this crowd in the game. We know that Anthony Richardson is still dealing with the injuries. More than likely, it's going to be Joe Flacco at quarterback for the Colts. He brings a different dimension than Anthony Richardson doesn't. Nonetheless, you look at this game, and Jacksonville has to find a way to take care of their business. I think they get it done with the 24-20 win. Now, in Houston, you've got the 3-1 Texans hosting the 3-1 Buffalo Bills. It's Josh Allen's first game, Stefon Diggs' first game against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And of course, Stefon Diggs, spent a chunk of his career catching passes from Josh Allen in Buffalo. Diggs was traded over the offseason to Houston, and from both sides, it really sounds like there was not a lot of love lost. You look at this Bills team. I know that they suffered their first defeat of the season last Sunday, courtesy of the Ravens. Their defense got punched in the mouth by that downward ground game of Baltimore. Houston can run the football, but they can also light you up with what they have in at the skill positions around quarterback CJ Stroud. I like this Houston defense going up against this Buffalo offense. You got a situation right here where the Texans are favored by 1 at home. It's going to be a close game, but nonetheless, I'm going to take the Texans at home by 7 by the score of 27-20. Now at Mile High, you got a pair of 2-2 teams. You got the Broncos hosting the Raiders. And when it's all said and done, When the Broncos host the Raiders, or when the Raiders host the Broncos, you simply just throw the rule book out the window. You look at these two teams right now, and they are defined by their defenses, especially the Broncos. They've been playing lights out defense all season long. Just the offense wasn't there in the first couple of weeks. Still has not been there. Okay, but the Broncos, with a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, found a way to win last week against the Jets. It was not pretty. A lot of stuff going on off the field for the Raiders right now. We don't know if Devontae Adams is going to be traded. We don't know what's going on with Antonio Pierce. Nonetheless, Denver, I think, is a team that's trending upward. This is going to be a tight contest throughout. The Broncos are favored by 3 at home, but I am going to take Denver by the score of 17-16. Now in Santa Clara, you got the 2-2 San Francisco 49ers hosting the 1-3 Arizona Cardinals. And after the slow start, the 49ers looked like the 49ers last week as they dominated the New England Patriots at home. Will the Niners be able to build upon that? Defensively, I think the Niners have to get back to their pass rush. They're not going to be spooked, so to speak, by anything that they see from Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray. Why? Because they see him 2 times a year. They know the key is to keep him in the pocket. However, this is San Francisco's first time facing rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. But you look at this Arizona team, and I thought they'd be a little bit better than they've been at this point, and they just simply cannot seem to get out of their way, and they're facing a team that is more talented than them. You don't want to, hinder yourself and have costly mistakes against a team like the 49ers, especially on their field. San Francisco is favored by 7.5 at home. The over and under is 49.5. And I'm going to take San Fran by the score of 30-20. Now at SoFi, you've got the 2-2 Green Bay Packers traveling to take on the 1-3 Los Angeles Rams. For the Packers and quarterback Jordan Love, got his first start since coming back from the injury last week. Had a tough go at it. The Vikings jumped ahead of the Packers and never looked back. I'll tell you like this: the Packers are not facing as a talented team this Sunday when they travel to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Green Bay is favored by 3 on the road in this one. I'm going to take the Packers by 4, 24-20. Now in the Pacific Northwest, you got the 3-1 Seattle Seahawks hosting the 1-3 New York Football Giants. Seattle suffered defeat for the first time this past Monday night as they fell on the road in a high-scoring affair to the Detroit Lions. The Giants have additional rest coming into this contest because they played last Thursday at home and lost to Dallas. However, the Giants are going to be shorthanded in this one. No Malik Neighbors at wide receiver, and it's doubtful that you're going to see running back Devin Singletary. The Giants were already fighting an uphill battle against a very talented Seattle team, and not having some of your best players is not going to help that situation. Seattle's favored by 7 at home. I'm taking the over, and I'm going to take the Seahawks by 10, 27-17. Now, on Sunday night, it's the Dallas Cowboys traveling to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And of course, when you think about the Cowboys and Steelers, you think about some of the most iconic moments in Super Bowl history, as both of these historic franchises have met 3 times in the big game. But nonetheless, even when the Cowboys played the Steelers during the regular season, it's always, or typically tends to be, a big star-studded affair. For Dallas, it wasn't pretty last Thursday night as they got the win against the New York Giants. But at the end of the day, pretty doesn't matter in the NFL as long as you get the win. I'm looking at this Dallas offense going up against this Pittsburgh defense. And the Steelers are going to bring the pressure with the likes of TJ Watt and others. Can they find a way to slow down the Dak Prescott, the CD Lamb connection? We've got to wait and see. For Pittsburgh, offensively, it has not been pretty so far this season, but they've won. However, the Steelers got to get back to their bread and butter, and they didn't run the football effectively last Sunday in their loss against the Colts. Dallas has struggled stopping the run all season long. I think Pittsburgh gets back to their bread and butter on Sunday night. I think they rediscover their running game, and I'm going to take the Steelers by a touchdown at home, 24-17. And finally, on Monday night, you got the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, the two-time defending champs, hosting the 2-2 New Orleans Saints. New Orleans got off to that 2-0 start. They've lost their last two games, and now they got a tiger by the tail, if you will, in facing Kansas City. I'll tell you like this: the Saints are going to bring it defensively against this Chiefs offense, especially now that the Chiefs don't have Rasheed Rice. But nonetheless, what will this Saints offense led by quarterback Derek Carr be able to do against this stingy Kansas City defense? That's going to be the key. I don't think Carr has enough to get the Saints over the hump on the road. They're a 5.5 underdog in this one. I'm going to take the Chiefs by 6 at home, 23-7. Folks, those are my picks for week number 5 and this NFL season. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.